Hi dear friends. In episode 11, we will talk about Kakavuz and the 7 labors of Rostam. Let's begin. King Kakavuz was not like his father at all. He was reckless and selfish. He spent most of his time drinking and binging because of his dictatorship. No one dared to criticize him. One day while he was drinking with some royal men, a man wearing a black robe entered the palace as a bard. Actually he was a demon, disguising himself as a bard. The bard told the king, "Your Majesty, why don't you travel to Mazandaran? It is a beautiful place with a great climate and friendly people." He talked about the beauties of Mazandaran so much that after he left the palace, Kakavuz told his men, "I would like to visit Mazandaran. Let's prepare an army and go there. Maybe I can add Mazandaran to my other territories." The royal men were all silent. They knew that invading Mazandaran was impossible because it was the home of devils and demons. Mazandaran was a dangerous place. The courtmen decided to ask help from Zal. They sent a message to Zal and Zal came to the palace. He talked to Kakavuz and told him about the dangers of entering Mazandaran. Zal told Kakavuz, "My Majesty, even the kings of past who were mighty and powerful did not dare to go to Mazandaran." But Kakavuz replied arrogantly, "I am different. Do not compare me with them. I am the mightiest of all." Unfortunately Zal could not persuade Kakavuz and finally the army were ready for traveling to Mazandaran. They arrived to Mazandaran. Kakavuz ordered his commander, Give, to enter the territory first and after getting the control, he could enter Mazandaran safely. Give had no way but accepting Kakavuz's order. When the king of Mazandaran heard of this, he was angry. So he sent a letter to the white demon and asked for help. The white demon was the king of demons. He took a big dark cloud with him and attacked Iran army. So many stones fell down from the cloud and killed a lot of soldiers and some were wounded. Sadly Iran army was defeated. Then the white demon blinded and enchained the king and his men in a dark, bottomless cave. Only one man from the army could escape. He went back to Iran and gave the sad news of their defeat to the palace. Zal heard of this. He called Rostam and told him saving the king and his men can only be done by his hands. Rostam knew that this journey was dangerous and could even lead him to death. He was not happy of his father's order. Zal told Rostam, "I show you a way that is shorter but more dangerous. Rely on God. I pray for you to come back safe." And Rostam started the dangerous journey to Mazandaran. On his way he arrived to a meadow. He felt tired. Rostam falls asleep among the reeds. After a short time, a fierce lion appeared, and mounted a ferocious attack on his horse, Rakhsh, but Rakhsh, although hard-pressed, succeeded in killing the savage beast with his teeth and hooves. Rostam, awakened by the tumult, and saw the dead lion and the wounded Rakhsh before him, he healed his beloved stallion, before remounting him and continued on his way toward Mazandaran. Rostam entered a desert, in which no water was to be found. Both horse and rider became oppressed with thirst and therefore, Rostam prayed to God. Sweltering under the burning sun, Rostam saw a sheep pass by, which he hailed as the harbinger of good. Rising up and grasping his sword in his hand, he followed the animal, and came to a pond of water, where he devoutly returned thanks to God for the blessing which had preserved his existence. On his way, he arrived at a forest which was the home of a giant dragon. At midnight when Rostam was asleep, the monstrous serpentine dragon emerged from the forest. Rakhsh approached his sleeping master and beat the ground so furiously, that he succeeded in waking him. Rostam looks around, but saw nothing, because the dragon had already vanished. He grumbled and went back to sleep. The dragon appeared a second time and once again the faithful horse succeeded in rousing his master. Rostam was even angrier than before, but at this moment sufficient light was providentially given him to allow him to see the monster that had been causing Rakhsh such alarm. Rostam then slayed the dragon. Rostam, back in the saddle once more, continued his journey through enchanted lands, and came, at evening, to a beautiful glade refreshed by limpid streams, where he found, much to his surprise, a ready roasted deer, together with the bread and salt to accompany it. He sat down to the mysterious banquet, but it vanished at the sound of his voice. Next, he saw a flask of wine. The alluring sorceress responsible for the fairy banquet, suddenly appeared and sat down at his side. Rostam offered up a prayer of thanks for having been supplied with food and wine in so inhospitable a place as the desert of Mazandaran, and, not realizing that the enchantress was, in fact, a demon in disguise, he placed in her hands a cup of wine in the name of God, but, at the mention of the Creator, the temptress was forced to resume her true form, that of a black fiend. Seeing this, Rostam held her fast with his lasso, and killed her. He then continued his journey to Mazandaran. He arrived to a green land and decided to have a rest. But that place belonged to a mighty man called Olad. Olad came angrily toward Rostam. They had a fight and Rostam could defeat him. Then Rostam told him, "I will not kill you. But you also have to show me where the white demon lives. If I can conquer the demon, I will make you the king of Mazandaran." Olad accepted. On their way they saw a giant called Arjang. Rostam attacked the giant and killed him too. After a while they arrived to the white demon's cave. The demon was asleep. When Rostam went closer, the demon woke up and a fierce battle started between the two. At last Rostam could kill the demon. He then freed Kakavuz, who miraculously regained his sight when his eyes were brushed with the white demon's blood. Then Rostam sent a letter to the king of Mazandaran and asked him to surrender. The king of Mazandaran did not accept and there was a battle between them. Finally Rostam defeated him and killed him too, and as he had promised, he made Olad the next king of Mazandaran. Then Rostam, King Kakavuz and others went back to Iran victoriously. In the next episode, we will talk about Hamavaran battle and Kakavuz. Thank you for watching. See you soon.